All right, 3, 2. Welcome to the Journey to Your Best Self podcast, where we combine timeless advice with evidence-based solutions in an effort to guide you towards sustained happiness in the modern world. As always, I'm Brian O'Neill, a middle school special education teacher with his passion for philosophy, and I am joined by my incredible sister, Tara, a clinical hypnotherapist and certified life coach. Andrew, our lifelong learner and compassionate nurse, who brings his expertise in neuroscience, will not be with us today. Together, we bring you this podcast to guide you through the profound journey of self-discovery and holistic integration. At Your One Self, we believe in merging the mental, spiritual, intellectual, physical, and emotional aspects of your life into a harmonious whole. And on that note, the Journey to Your Best Self's mission is to guide individuals towards self-discovery and holistic integration. Quick kind of behind the scenes preview stuff. We have a bunch of amazing episodes coming out shortly, highlighted by some of my favorites. Immediate stress relief techniques, managing anxiety is another one, better sleep health is another one, the power of breathing, health boundaries, nutrition for mental health is great, and that's going to dive into some nutrition for physical fitness that we're also going to be recording for. So a lot of really good stuff. But today, with no further ado, today Tara and I are going to be talking about this podcast, right? The flagship Journey to Your Best Self is going to connect with the Your One Self. Tara, how do you like to put it? Empire?
The Empire, correct.
All right. Well, Darth Vader or Leia, I'm not sure.
That's right. We're going to bring in the Force. Let the Force be with Journey to Your Best Self. Using your one self, that's a foundation.
I like it. It always does come back to your one self, right? Ancient wisdom.
Right. Modern wellness. That's it, right? So we are here to explain the unexplainable, but yet have you just live as yourself, your wonderful one, dynamic, unique, beautiful.
Absolutely.
So yeah, let's talk about what's to come for season 1. What fabulousness are we going to share with our viewers?
I think as a cornerstone, it will come back to ancient wisdom. Modern wellness is something that definitely serves as kind of a linchpin. A lot of it connects back to that when you break it down. One of the things that we're trying to do, help people in this kind of modern world where they're stressed out, disconnected, alienated, just in conflict with others, where we can help them find balance and purpose, right? So balancing mind, body, and spirit, and do that by sharing some of our, especially Andrew and I, sharing some of our experiences and some of the things that have worked well for us recently and in the short past, and things that are definitely replicable and can give you results pretty quickly. But on that kind of balance and purpose track, do you want to kind of talk more about some of the ideas that we have that can help make that more sustainable for listeners, viewers?
Absolutely. Right. So one of the things that I enjoy doing is taking abstract concepts and making them into tangible, easy, do it right now or today modalities or methodologies to reduce stress. And so we are going to give you real-time, tangible tools to take with you throughout the day to get through maybe tougher times, to kind of survive it, to go from surviving to thriving seems like a little bit of a stretch, but we're going to show you how it really is possible. There's a saying that goes like, there's nothing that the present moment can't solve. And I really do believe that. And what I'd like to do is share with people like everything can be solved by realizing like the magic of the present moment. And I understand that might sound a little out there, which is great, because I want to expand people's consciousness. So we're taking some of this ancient wisdom and we're bringing it into the modern world. And you don't need to know exactly how that's going to be done. Just stay tuned, right? And trust that each episode will give you a tangible tool to take with you as part, put it in your toolbox to get you to where you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the great things about the podcast is that when you feel, so the ultimate goal is that sustained balance, and even that sustained mind, body, and spirit balance. And then even beyond that is that elusive purpose, the goal.
Yes.
And those related to it. But one of the things about the podcast and the podcasting format is that, once the 10, 20, 30, first 50 episodes are uploaded, you have, depending on your situation, your vessel may have some leaks, some rust in it, and you can just jump into episode 7 if it's about something that, some calming anti-anxiety techniques, some breath work, some fitness, episode. And then so you don't necessarily, that's not necessarily going to get you that long-term balance and, totally good indefinitely, that the year one self, some of the packages, some of the different things that are on the website that, are going to be more sustainable, but it's so easy to access and so quick, just the ride to work or the ride home, or while you're working out or while you're doing an errand or a chore, you can get kind of that Band-Aid, that fix, and they can help you get through. And also, like you had alluded to, provide the tools so that, they have their toolbox, so that when they find themselves in a position like that in the future, they'll be able to kind of self advocate, and take care of those challenges on their own.
Yeah, or self-regulate, right? So that's the thing that I love about this podcast is we're providing tools for people to self-regulate, but we're also here to help them co-regulate, right? So if you're having a bad day, or if someone's stressing you out and you're like, I want to hear Tara and Brian and Andrew, and that's going to help bring me some peace. Like, know that we're here, like we are your cheerleader to get you through anything that's happening. So we definitely are building that community, that safe space, that nurturing space, that positive outcome, realistic, not, over the top, but real, consistent, and supportive environment and people. We're here for our viewers.
Absolutely. And listeners.
Yes, exactly.
Whether
Whether
the exact
you
numbers, but I know that there's many, many,
listen,
many
if you
listeners.
listen, you see, or you feel, or you just psychically absorb us, whatever your preference, we're here to support you.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the connection with the Your One Self brand empire site is the shared values, right? That shared purpose, that compass, that direction, the Your One Self kind of direction, that arrow that's kind of guiding Your One Self is also the one that's guiding Journey to Your Best Self. So, one of the things a couple things that right off the top that I could think of that are shared are how we both try to empower individuals to reclaim their autonomy. It's kind of like I was just using that ship metaphor earlier, and realize their full potential. So providing them, like you said, the tools so that, ultimately they're able to, face some of those challenges on their own. And I think that's Year One Self. A lot of what it offers is empowering, right? Is the guidance to give people kind of, at least maybe not full control, because we know better about control, but at least a perceived control over what's happening. And like you said, the um, those de-stressors or kind of anxiety reducing strategies, techniques, tools. And what one of the things we try to do it in kind of a supportive, compassionate way that we're not hammering down a scripture or a one size fits all kind of tutorial that if you follow this, it's guaranteed fix, but you have to do it just this way. So what about the flexibility that we have, the shared values, being the cornerstones, but then the flexibility in how we kind of work with different people, different listeners. There's a lot there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think creating a stronger foundation as well over time, and we'll get into what stages we might be in the awakening process or the expanded consciousness process or healing your nervous system, and we'll break down a lot of these words and terminology that I use that might be particular vernacular for certain community. For example, like yoga, like it has a lot of yogic language, and you might hear it here and there, and we'll definitely explore what those things mean, and also the commonalities of it. But yeah, so what this first season will provide is a lot of the basics of how, like, of life and values, right? So we want to make sure that we have a good foundation. So we want to make sure that we have the basics of sleep or rest, nourishment, so eating, movement, so exercise, and community or support from those around us. So we'll have these pillars so it'll help. When we have the foundation, it'll help a lot of the mind body spirit integration process. So we'll define these things, and then we'll give you the tools to help you better establish and integrate them into your life. So Brian, what are you most excited about sharing or giving our listeners, our community?
I would say that I like all the things you hit. I like the idea of the pillars, the mind, body, spirit are also pillars, and we value each of those aspects. I think there are a couple of other buzzword things that would do well to describe us are authentic, in that we're speaking from experience or research based information that we're providing. So there's kind of hocus pocus. There's no, this is going to be getting a lot of downloads. So let me just say it, even though I don't believe it and I know it doesn't work. So there's definitely, advice that has worked for us and others and former clients and colleagues, people we know, so that are in our circle, in our inner circle, our greater circle. So we're going to be discussing a lot of that stuff, and we're just, other than you, regular folks that I think people will be able to easily connect with, because they have found themselves in similar situations and points in their life and stages and different chapters. So that's what I'm kind of looking forward to, people listening and watching and saying, yeah, that exact thing happened to me, and then finding out something that helps them get through it or work around it. trying to think of when you were going through struggles, what would have helped you, years ago, right? So that's what I'm looking most forward to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I might even kind of just go right into it and say what would have been helpful for me if somebody told me what the heck the word authentic meant.
Mm,
And so to me, what I've come to understand it is, if you think of yourself as who you are before you are conditioned and socialized and programmed. So as a baby, as a young child, you don't have a whole lot of conditioning and social norms instilled into you, which are fine. In many ways, it can be helpful. But before you have that, so right, we come in with a blank slate, like tabula rasa, like that is, we're pure consciousness. And you know what? Everybody loves babies, right? Because they don't have a bunch of junk that's been put on to them from the world. So going back to that state of oneness, of wholeness, of authenticity and grace, and being genuine, like we all have the potential to get back to that, right? To shed these layers. And so I wish someone had explained to me a little bit more about what it meant to be conditioned and socialized and programmed. I mean, my journey was perfect, and I can't wait to share what I've learned with you, and the blood, sweat, and tears of it. And I hope that people can relate to it in a way that will make their journey a little more smooth and enjoyable. So, yes, absolutely. This is going to be that podcast that's going to be like, wow, like they're really real. Like they're showing what's behind the curtain, and they're being authentic, and they really want to help. They genuinely, from the bottom of their hearts, want to help others. So that's my mission. Absolutely. And yes, we'll bring in people that have helped us along the way, our mentors, our teachers. Maybe I'll get in some sages and mystics and yogis that I've learned from. Not that you have to learn from, you can learn from your little one, right? Like, how can I be more like the pure essence that I came in as? Like, you see a baby, and you were once that baby, right? You were once this pure, perfect little being. So okay, so that's there'll be plenty of rants that I will continue like that throughout. Does that give you an idea?
yeah, absolutely. That's. I think we're all looking forward to that, and hearing from you and hearing from those VIPs and those experts for sure. I think that yeah, there's definitely a relatability that is going to be very easy to connect with. So that's going to be excellent too, because a lot of the challenges that we faced have been in that 9 to 5 Western kind of inescapable career job milieu that we all, or a
Well,
vast majority of us, find ourselves in. So I
right.
think a lot of what I've learned, I've been able to translate to that part of my life, and it's really helped me to get some of that balance that we all should certainly strive for.
Yes, absolutely. The institutions, right? Like many of us have been in these more conservative or old paradigm institutions. I, being a public school teacher for many years, you in that field, Andrew in a modern medical community. So we have this relatability, right? That we're not in the mountains with the monks all the time. We're accessing that, and then we're bringing it back into, I don't know, create a new, like, we're in a new paradigm, right? The world is asking humanity to step up to the plate, right? And we're going to bring you what's at the plate of the leading edge of the change. We're going to introduce you to the way showers, the change makers, the visionaries, that and you can be that too. is also the message, right? They're not different or better or superior. This is a medium to merge all of that,
Absolutely.
the mind, body, spirit.
Yeah. And the ancient and the timeless and the evidence
Ancient
based, right?
wisdom, modern wellness. And again, a lot of this is an introductory episode, so we're throwing out ideas and explaining some of what's to come. But we're just looking for you to embark on this journey with us as well. We're challenging you to look at things from a new perspective, right? So it's not more of the same. You're opening up to new possibilities.
Yeah, new possibilities, definitely. And there's the three pillars, that's why there are few and far between that have all three mastered, right? So we endeavor to have a bunch of episodes for each. So if you, for instance, have a good handle, or so you think, on mind and body, then there might be a spiritual tinged episode, or vice versa. If your body's feeling weak, or you're feeling like it's you can do more with it, or whatever, there's going to be episodes for that person too. So there's going to be a lot, like I said, for a lot, and all for everyone.
Yes.
But there's a way I'm trying to say a lot. Every
Also, I
episode
think
for every listener. Go ahead.
also for where you're at the moment, right? There is not a perfection to this mind, body, spirit per se, right? There'll be points on your journey where it's not like 33% of each every day, like this perfect balance. There might be times where you're like, your body is like, you're doing great, but maybe you're feeling like you're a little disconnected to spirit or soul or oneness. And then there might be other times where you're just on a very, intellectual journey and your body's not getting as much, right? So there's going to be like waves of it. And so that's important also. Like, there's not a right or wrong way to do this. And then, I think, Brian, what you're saying might be like, often, and this might be just the mystic in me, we'll have what you need at the right time. And so trusting that everything is unfolding like in a grander intelligent of the infinite. So, well, I guess that's a side note, but yes, what you'll need will often be what arises throughout this as we stay on that more, cutting edge, creating an expansive field of what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I could speak kind of firsthand about how, when you're oneself, and Tara O'Neill, kind of, there's a lot of conversations and journeys, mini journeys, but other things that I've applied and really utilized, some in all three of these areas, to really find that balance and purpose, and at least feel like I was working towards kind of fulfilling those three pillars. And with the exercise, kind of just really like almost mastering the fit, like the weightlifting space, and the diet for that, and that tied into better sleep and more energy and less stress and less anxiety, more confidence, right? There was so much of that body part that I feel is so important. Studying with people, researching, learning about that, and then with my students, the mind portion, right? The fact that I saw traumas, or just lack of sleep, just kind of COVID, frustration, all kinds of things, and having them do a mindful moment curriculum that I worked out with them. That was uh,
I love it.
really kind of a game changer for, and of course, because I joined them for the mind pillar. And then I would say the appreciation that your oneself really encourages, um, the appreciation and kind of the deep meditations and different things that your oneself offers and will also explore here can really fill that spirit pillar if you think about it, or just focus it, or just clarify what it means to you. What's the importance of that part? Your own self has really helped there as well. So there's so much that we're going to be able to provide, and so many relatable stories. I think that I've taken your one self off of the website, or off of some of the programs, or off of some of the readings, and applied it to much great. I mean, the there's it's always a process, but so far it's been working out, and it's the best ever. But yeah, it is a process. There's a lot here for, like you said, to
Yeah.
reach a lot of different people, and a lot of different stages. You people fall off, right, and the consistency is critical, and I think that's going to be another thing that we're going to be able to provide: the consistency of weekly having at least one, if not more, episodes uploading, and then just kind of connecting with the whole your oneself ecosystem is something that people are going to really appreciate.
Yeah, I love that term. Thank you for introducing that. The ecosystem. I almost want to like think of it as like like the mind body spirit as a check-in, right? It's like, where are you in the mind, body, and spirit? Like, in terms of your journey, are you overly focusing on one thing and avoiding another, or neglecting another? And so I think, back to like when I said I wish somebody had told me maybe a little bit more about what it meant to be authentic and integrated. And I think if we, say like, okay, well, what am I doing for my mind this week? What am I doing for my body this week? What am I doing for my spirit this week? And then you can, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but at least you're like, oh yeah, you know what? I realized I have totally not done anything for my spirit. I have not done any, whatever your practice might be, any meditation or any volunteering or any connecting with loved ones or spending time in nature, whatever it might mean for you to connect with spirit. So you can take this and or maybe their body. Oh, I haven't moved my body at all, and I've been eating junk all week. Maybe you're writing a book and intellectually, like your mind, you're just on fire. You want to still make sure that you're adding in the elements. So it is an ecosystem that allows you to not just fall off completely and be like, screw mind, body, spirit, I'm going completely unconscious and I'm going on a bender or hiding out or numbing, whatever it might be.
Excellent. All right. I was thinking that maybe we could kind of wrap there, and just again a little bit of a preview of what to expect coming up. Like I had spoken about a lot of those, a lot of how the podcast can be like a quick support, and a one time, if there's something that you need that's rather urgent. So some of the episodes, the immediate stress relief techniques, the managing anxiety, the coping with panic, the Instacom techniques, the a lot of that nutrition and body stuff is going to be excellent. So there's so much to look forward to. I know that it's been a journey. It's always a journey. So many journeys. Definitely been
Yeah,
a journey.
manager.
Rolling this out and it's nowhere near the way that we want it ultimately to be. There's been definitely tech issues, but it's always appreciated those that stick through the beginning, and the payoff will be great. So you'll see that it's episode to episode things are improving, and the content is going to get crisper. There's going to be more depth. There's going to be that's ultimately the most important thing, right? The glitches and things like that are, they can even be humorous. They're just in this modern world that's what's to be expected. But the great content is something that you should definitely subscribe and stick around for. On that, you have any closing words?
Yeah. So I love quotes,
Okay.
and maybe this will be a thing. Maybe I will end with a quote that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And we're taking a step, right? So we're asking our viewers to come with us. Like you were saying, like the start of it isn't always pretty. It can be messy. It can be, frustrating. It can be challenging. It can evoke, fear, different emotions. But you have to put yourself out there. What other alternative is there? It's kind of just staying in the sameness, and that's not, to me, that's not what we're about, right? We're about expanding and challenging you to go back to the authentic self and shine your light. So I would say, thank you to those that are bearing with us and supporting us, because that's what we're here for, is to support others. So a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Lao Tzu, a wonderful ascended master that we could learn a lot from. Brian, do you have a quote, or do you want to share what that means to you, that quote?
I think that there's so much to it, but it for me, how it resonates is it shows you how any tasks, goals, objectives, desires, things seem, when you're in a place where there's the holes are causing the ship to fill up, and you feel kind of wayward, and you're sinking, or you're struggling. Things seem just so far and just so distant, and um, you know unattainable and unreachable, right? But if every journey starts with one step, and that's how you're ultimately going to get there, and then eventually there's a second step and a third step, and then it seems like that first step is so far behind, and you can't even believe how far you've come. So everything, and it's, as his way, it kind of connects everything together. So even the simplest of journeys starts with one step, and the most arduous as well. So if you can do one step for those tasks that you've mastered, then you can do one step for something that is maybe a bit daunting, or
Yes,
frightening, or scary, or overwhelming, right? And it also reminds me of the idea that we're here to guide you on that step, right? So if you think of, not to get too messianic, but everyone needs somebody, with them in a way to guide them through. So hopefully we can be that for many at your one self.
absolutely. Absolutely. Beautifully said. Thank you for being here, for
All right.
showing up.
You got it. Thank you. It worked well. We won't tell Andrew how
We missed
smooth
you,
things
Andrew.
went. Well, we'll test him, see if you listen till all the way till the very end.
Right.
But it wasn't for him not being here. That wasn't the reason why it went smoothly. So yeah, I guess your one self,
Signing off.
YOS, mind, body, and spirit, signing off. Ancient wisdom,
Wisdom,
modern
modern
wellness,
wellness.
and make sure, it goes without saying, but make sure you like and subscribe us wherever you're listening. High ratings, and you add Journey to Your Best Self to your feed, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, or subscribe to us on YouTube so that we can get the message out and you can connect to this incredible ecosystem that's developing.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Tara.